Today, we are going to cover, like I said earlier, just the basics. We're going to go over your dashboard, how to navigate through LeagueApps, go through some member management tools, and then for those of you that use LeagueApps Gateway, I want to show you how to navigate through that dashboard as well. There will be time at the end for questions. If you're watching this live, there'll be time at the end for questions and we can answer those for you. You can ask them at any time, but I won't be answering them until the end. You'll just use your little control panel there to type in a question. So please, 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 if anything pops up, ask away. Alrighty, so I am already logged in to my management console here. You may see something different when you log in depending on your admin role, but I'm logged in as an org account owner, which is the highest level of admin. So I'm gonna have access to everything. If we go over something that you don't see and you would like to have access to, you'll just need to contact your org account owner and they can increase your administrative roles. So this is what you see when you log in. Just going to go through the little modules here and explain what they mean and how they can be useful. So up in the top left, we have membership. This is going to be an overview of your current member database. It's going to be broken up between adult and child members, and we'll go over what that means later on. And then active members is going to be the total number of members that have logged in or interacted with their LeagueApps account within the last 30 days. This is a test account, so our numbers are pretty low. Hopefully yours look a little better, but that's what happens here. In the middle, we have what's happening. This is going to give you an overview of the events, the things that you have scheduled, money that you have coming in, registration, end dates, new signups, money collected, and registrations. And you can view it by today. Again, hopefully yours has a little bit more activity than ours. The past 7 or 30 days, and then the next 7 or 30 days. So again, just a really quick at a glance look at what's going on within your organization, so you can make sure that these things jive with what you expect to be happening. Next, we have quick links. So this is going to be things that we've decided are useful shortcuts for you guys right here on the dashboard. You can compose a message. This is going to take you to the messaging tool where you can message your site members either by program or by member type. Lots of cool filters in there for contacting your members. You can post an announcement. This is going to post an announcement directly onto your users' dashboards. It goes down below, so when they log in, if there's something that you want to highlight, they'll see this when they log in. So you can post that there. You can view your master schedule. This is really helpful for organizers. It's going to take every event, every game across all programs and put it in one place for you to see. So if you click on this, you can see what's coming up all in one place without having to go into each program. And then the magic guy right here, create a new program. This is where you're going to create those new leagues, events, tournaments, classes, everything can be done by clicking this button here. Down below, we have the program summary. This is going to show you just some numbers for all of your live and upcoming programs only. So if you ever log in one day and this number seems to have dropped drastically and you're unsure why, it's likely because you marked a program completed or maybe deleted a program for some reason, because this is only going to show those live and upcoming programs. Now there are four statuses, of programs: live, upcoming, completed, and unpublished. Okay, so unpublished, you can always access here by clicking unpublished programs. And this is going to be programs that maybe you've created that are in a draft state, or if you want to just create a test that you want to make sure nobody's going to stumble upon. So again, only live and upcoming are going to be shown here. But you can see how much has been invoiced. Of that invoiced amount, how much is outstanding and how much is paid. You can see how many teams you currently have live and how many registrations are included in those live and upcoming programs. Here you can view all of your live programs or your upcoming programs. Clicking these is going to take me to a list of those programs. And then this one is going to be any programs that have open registration. So you can make sure if you think registration is closed and there's anything here but a 0, you'll want to make sure that you go in and close registration. So little helpful numbers here just to make sure that things are going the way that you want. Moving down below, this is The program summary, the dashboard version. So I'll explain this one and then I'll show you the more beefed up one. So the dashboard version is going to be your top programs. So this is going to show, I believe it maxes out at 20. It's going to show you your top 20 programs, and they're going to be auto sorted by the dollar amount that they are bringing in. So in case you ever wonder what the logic is here, it's going to be sorted by that dollar amount, but you can customize these columns under view full program summary. So you get some information here, but if you wanted to change the information you see, you'll just go ahead and click on view full program summary. And this is going to be one where you can change the columns that appear and where you can view things in a different way. You'll see all of your programs. We don't have too many, but if I had 50 programs, they would all show here, as opposed to the dashboard is just going to show those top 20. So if this is something that you're going to need a lot, I recommend bookmarking this page instead of having to click that button every single time, and you can just use this as your dashboard because you still get this summary up here. So the main differences here is you can sort by name, you can sort by start date, end date, you can sort by everything. Where on the dashboard you can't, and you can also filter by things that are just live or just upcoming. We don't have any upcoming programs. And then to customize the view, you're going to click this button here. So you can see these are all of your column options to view on the dashboard for your live and upcoming programs. So let's say that I want to see the sport. Let's say we'll take off the activity start date and we will add in the type also. So once I save this, you'll see my columns updated. So now I have the type and the sport, and it took off that activity start date. If I go back to my dashboard by clicking LeagueApps up in the top left, you can see that those columns transferred over here as well. So a little bit of customization there, so you can really tailor this to the information that you need at a glance. A lot of these things are clickable too. Obviously, clicking on any program name is going to take you to that program dashboard. If you click on any of these dollar amounts, it's going to take you to an invoice list that will include the invoices that make up these totals. If you click on players, if you click on any of these numbers, it's going to take you directly to the player list for that program of the same row. Same with staff and teams. So nice little shortcuts. You don't always have to click into the program and then get there that way. If you need to get to your teams, if this column is enabled, you can just click on that number and it's going to take you straight to your team list for that program. Okay, so that is the top programs. Below that, we have just some shortcuts for you guys. Product updates. Make sure to check this frequently. We do send out emails too when updates are made, but if you don't get those or if you forget maybe what has been released recently, you can click on view release notes, and this is going to be kind of like a blog of the updates that we've done recently, so you can see if maybe there's a new feature that you're not taking advantage of. Help and support. This is where you can find me if anything is going wrong or if you have forgotten how to do something or just want to see if something is possible. We have a great support team. You can contact us this way, either by emailing us directly at support@leagueapps.com. We have a great help site that has a lot of helpful articles. You can, if you're more of a self-sufficient type of person, the link here to view or sign up for webinars is built directly into your dashboard too. Normally, I'm on a demo site, so it's not there, but normally you'll also have a button down here in the bottom left that says contact support. That's just going to save you the step of having to open up your email. Anything you type in there is going to go straight to support@leagueapps.com, and we do offer same-day help as long as you get in before 6 p.m. Eastern. Live chat will also be here sometimes. We have a rotating schedule, and we can't be on all of the time, but we do definitely try to be on as often as we can, and it's a really helpful way to get the answers you need quickly. And then we have a shortcut to our blog, lots of fun reads there, pretty diverse articles too, so something for everybody if you want to see what is going on in our world. So that is the gist of the dashboard here. Just a reminder to ask some questions if there was anything that I didn't cover that you saw in this piece. A couple other things that I want to touch base on. that you're looking at right now is the search bar up at the top here. This is going to be extremely helpful to find the things that you're looking for. So you can type someone's name, you can type a program name, you can type a team name, and you can search by email address. So those are the searchable features right now. So if I were to start typing my name, you can see my member profile is right here. And then I also picked up 2 emails that have that same, that have my name in them. So if I click on this, it's going to take me directly to my member profile. And we can segue into this a little bit here too, because I want to go over the member profile. Every member on your site will have a member profile, and every member profile has its own menu. So there's actions you can take up at the top here. You can message your members directly. You can make them admin. So if you need to add new administrators and they already have accounts, you can just promote their existing accounts to administrators. You don't need to make new accounts for them. You can view a family account. If they don't have this one, it means that they are not a group account user. Sometimes people get disconnected from their families, and that's one way to check if they don't have this family link up there. We'll need to get them reconnected if they're supposed to be in a family. Edit member profile. This is where you can edit things like name, email address, address. If someone needs you to change their password, that can be done in here. Generate member card. This is used more so, I believe, in soccer. It's not a very widely used feature, but it's there if you want to create a membership card. Log in as member is extremely helpful if you need to see what someone is seeing, if you need to make sure that their information is right, that their family information is right, and see it from their end. You can use the login as member feature to help walk them through something. So I can show you real quick. If I click this for myself, it's going to take me to the user dashboard, but I'm going to see everything as if I were that person. And now in this case, I am this person, but I could do this with anybody. Remove member. Sometimes people create duplicates. If they haven't registered into anything, it's easier just to remove them. If you have duplicates and each member account has program registrations underneath it, it's better to merge. So if you click merge member, it's going to look for other members in your database that have the same name, first and last spelled identically. The rest of the information does not need to match, but you can merge your members into one. Now, it's important to know that the primary member, it's going to keep that email address. Everything else merges, or you can edit after the fact. But if I wanted to keep this email address instead of this one, I would want to use this account as the primary. You can just click that button and it's going to flip them. Now you can see that I lost my merge button because it's not going to let me merge as long as you have members in the family account. We're getting a little bit deep into it right now, but long story short, if you want to merge an adult, they cannot be a supervisor in a group account that has any members in it. So if I were needing to merge this, I could just remove myself from the group account and then it would allow me to merge. We have a really good help article on merge too if you have questions there. It's very helpful, but it can get a little complex as you just saw. So make sure to use the help site to find that when you go to merge for the first time, just to make sure that you feel comfortable. Again, on the back to the member profile page, you're going to have 2 drop downs here. This is where you can manually add people into programs. You can add them as a player or an individual, or you can add them as a staff member. So this drop down is going to show me anything that I can currently have people register into. I would just select where I wanted this person to go and click add. And on the next page, I can fill out their form fields and I can manually register them. This is helpful if you have people that are having complications or maybe they don't have access to a device to register. You can still get them into your programs from your end. Same thing with staff registrations. If you need to add coaches to teams, you can do it this way directly from their member profile. Over here on the left, there's some at-a-glance information. You can view all the messages that were sent to your members. So if you need to see their activity, you can see the messages that they've received, if it was delivered and if they open them. And then you can also add credit to their account if you need to, or generate a standalone member invoice. Okay, so that is the member profile page, extremely helpful for managing your members. Okay, so back to the dashboard, I want to do a quick rundown through the sidebar here and just make sure you guys know where to find things. So up at the top, you'll have your site name. If you have subsites, this is where you can switch in between those subsites. We have quite a few. Most people don't have any, but if you are running multiple organizations, you can switch between those here. Dashboard will obviously take you back here. Manage. So this is where you can find all of your programs filtered by type if you want to view all your leagues, your events, and so on, or you can view all programs. This one is important for finding those completed programs. So if you go to all programs and filter by completed, this is where you'll find any program that has been marked as complete. It's basically an archiving system, and this is the only way to access those programs. So if you ever feel like they're lost forever, they're just under manage all programs, you can grab them there. Logistics, this is where you can set up just some site database content. You've got locations, you can view your member database. The calendar is going to be your master calendar. This is a little bit standalone. One confusion we get a lot with the calendar is programs don't auto-populate on here. This is a site calendar that you can have public on your website. It's great for adding things that would apply to everybody and not necessarily just specific programs. Each program will also have their own calendar, and you can always add those items on here too. But the site calendar is going to be a master calendar that again should span across the entirety of your organization. Teams will give you a list of all the teams that have ever registered. You can do products here. Products is a great feature when you need to sell items. There's uniforms, t-shirts, raffle tickets, stuff like that. We've seen sponsorships and donations done through products. So you can set all that up here. Bookings is a fairly new feature. If you're interested, it does have to be manually turned on, I believe. So if you're not seeing this and you're curious, feel free to send me an email and we can get that turned on for you. It's great for one-on-one lessons, individual trainings, and that kind of stuff. Then you can view all your invoices, set up your discount codes, and manage your credits. Messaging, this is where in the beginning I had said this compose a message. This quick link is going to take you to the same place as messaging, compose a message. You can also export your emails. If you use a third party like MailChimp, you can export your emails and then import them into another program. You can create email templates. So when you're under compose a message, you have some templates to choose from. You're not having to do that formatting every time. Announcements, if you use the voice line, this is where you can control it there. And then you can view your sent emails and texts and view the tracking information for them. Email contacts is where you can import emails. This is if you just have an email contact list of people that don't necessarily have LeagueApps accounts with you, especially if you're a new partner. It's good to start here. You can import existing contacts, send them an email and ask them to create an account or register. It's good for getting people into your system. Reporting, lots of reporting that we can pull for you from your database. So you're going to have programs reports, booking reports, registrations, transactions, team reports, attendance reports. That all can be found here. And then each of these reports is going to have filters where you can filter down to really get the information that you need. The master schedule, that's going to be this one right here, not to be confused with the site calendar. This is for the admins. This is going to show you again all those events across all of your programs. If you use e-commerce products, this is where you will find those orders. Another link to invoices, it's going to be the same one that was under manage, but we want to make sure that you can find them. Payment plan report, if you use payment plans, this is a really helpful report that will show you basically an overview of the plans you have, the money that's incoming, and anything that's outstanding that's on a payment plan. And then the gateway dashboard, which we'll get to in a minute here. Content. Now, I like to think of content. This is when we start getting into the user side of things. So the member portal, the things that your customers see. So content is going to be more website based. So these are going to be your website, the individual pages. The blog, if you use it, you can control your menu items. So your navigation menu on your website, those can be renamed and reordered here. If you have an external site and you just want to embed LeagueApps registration or schedules or standings, we have widgets for those. Those can all be found here, the codes, and then to edit your mobile homepage. Design, so I'm going to click this, it actually is going to take me. Design is going to lead you to the theme editor, which is where you can control the look of your website. So content is going to be all the meat and potatoes. Design is going to be what it looks like. So this is going to be where you can edit your backgrounds, your font colors, your logos, and all that's done in the theme editor here. I'm not going to even open it because that needs its own webinar. There's so much to go over there. But the theme editor is where you can really customize your site and make it your own. Connect. This is going to give you API keys if you need them. You can get them under API access. You can access the API documentation too for those of you that are fortunate enough to have people on your team that can work with the API. We made it really easy for them to access. Zapier is great. It is a third-party company that LeagueApps has what they call a Zap in. And what this does is LeagueApps can connect with other companies that also have Zaps. So for example, MailChimp is one. If you set up a Zapier account, and it's free, and connect your LeagueApps site to your MailChimp site through Zapier, you can set up triggers or zaps where anytime a new account is created, it's going to automatically create that email address in MailChimp. So really, really cool stuff that can go on here. And yeah, that's just a quick link to tell you more about it. And then some add-ons. The big thing in here is going to be your text messaging, your voice line. A lot of these things are turned on by default now, so you don't need to worry about enabling them. For our lacrosse partners, if you want to turn on the US lacrosse integration, this is where you can enable or disable that here. Okay, and then last on the menu here is settings. This you're only going to really deal with a lot in the beginning of your account creation. These things don't change too much. Your site settings, these are things like your site ID, your contact information as the org owner. If you have a custom domain, you can connect it here. Digital insights, things like Google Analytics, Facebook Pixel, you can plug those codes in here. Mobile app settings, you'll only see this if you have the app with us. Registration settings. Now your default settings, these should be set up from the very beginning, and they are going to auto populate basically anytime you create a new program from scratch. So if you create the same program over and over again, one, you can copy existing programs, but you can also set defaults here, especially if you're new, to make sure that we always charge $50 or there's always going to be this same waiver. You can set all that up under registration settings. Schedules and standings. This is where you can set up your standings rules that go across your programs, some staff roles. You can define those here. By default, it's coach and volunteer. Maybe you also have assistant coaches or team parents or program directors, things like that. You can customize your staff roles there. Members. This is where the member profile, I do want to touch base on this really quickly because this is where you can add custom fields when people are creating an account. This is just a test one in here, but if you wanted to collect any other information such as graduation year, you can collect this when they create an account, and then you won't have to ask it during registration. Now, obviously you want to pick things that aren't going to change because they won't be asked to update this when they register. Getting a little slow here. Sorry, guys. There we go. And then some more messaging, and then your social connect down there too. Okay, so that is the overview